Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and I got a little baby right here. Excuse his appearance. Oh, him in a cone, because he keep itching. Look at him. Look at him in this cone. Isn't he so cute, though? The cutest baby in a cone. Ow, he keeps itching his eyes. Come here, lay down. Thank you. Where was I? I said welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. This is Nigel. If you're new, he is my my fur child, my firstborn. But anywho, as you can see in the thumbnail, we're talking about
the truth behind Booktube.
Which you can apply this probably to other areas of content creation, but obviously I'm a booktuber, so I'm gonna speak to that directly. So buckle up. Of course, these are things from my experience, my perspective. Other people may feel differently or have had different experiences, and that's valid. I'm speaking from my point of view. Now, having talked to a decent amount of content creators, I know that we do share some similar thoughts and feelings about what it's like to be a booktuber. But again, this is my opinion. I don't speak for anyone else. This is just for me. This is what I think. This is what I feel. This is what I have experienced, okay? So first, I have two questions for you. If you have a book where you think the naked hardcover is more beautiful than the dust jacket, what do you do with the dust jackets? Do you keep them? Do you throw them away? Like this dust jacket, but the naked book, you can't see it, but it's beautiful. So like, what do you do with those? Because I'm like, what do I do with this? Second, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, so I have been posting for the last few days on the community tab, but also on my Instagram about the possibility of a trip with my community base, my subscribers. Obviously, it wouldn't be everybody. That would be wild. I could not. No, I don't think that many people can go on a trip anyway, but so I don't know if any of you have heard of Trova Trip. I had before they reached out to me, but they do work with like content creators, influencers, to plan trips around the world with their people who are in their community base, which I think is really exciting. I wanted to go on one with someone that I followed before. It wasn't in my budget. Now, right now, this is just a question. There's nothing set in stone. I don't know if this is gonna happen. I need enough people to express interest for even to move to the next step. But if it did happen, it would be next year sometime, the earliest, maybe late spring, like April or May, but they're usually planned 8 to 10 months out. So that's why I'm starting to put out feelers now. And also there's varying price ranges depending on, you know, how many people go and where, how long the trip is, what things are happening on the trip. So I have a link in the description below. It'll be at the top. Nigel, I forgot where it was. But yeah, so it's planned 8 to 10 months in advance. And right now there's a survey that I will link down in my description that maybe takes a couple minutes to fill out. And it asks you essentially like, if you're interested, are you over 18? The destinations that you'd be interested to go, your budget, types of things you like to do. So just for a quick spiel, obviously I like to travel. It's been a year since I've been back in the United States and I have not left these shores since, and I'm very sad about it. So of course I want to go somewhere international. I like to eat. I like to eat bread, fries, ice cream. I'll find them wherever I go. I like to eat. I like doing outdoor things as long as it's not the whole day and it's not very strenuous, because I like to see beauty in nature, right? I like museums. I like, obviously this would be like, obviously I've gone to some concerts on trips, but that's not the thing. But I like fun, but also I like to see the sights, try to go off the beaten path, but also see the popular things, but also build in time for a nap and aimlessly scrolling on social media. Do you know what I'm saying? So they build the trip. They have different itineraries to places and things that are included in the trip, like different activities. There's someone who's like a local person there who knows everything, who would be with us on the trip. So again, it's not just I'm gonna plan this all willy-nilly, because you would not want me to plan this, but I just want to get feelers. So if you have any interest at all in going on a planned group trip with me and other people in the community next year at the earliest, fill out the survey. There's nothing binding. It just will ask for your email so that if the trip does happen, then you get an email about, you know, like the prices and everything. Like it would just automatically send you an email. So, wow, my child's a hater, Nigel. So anyway, fill that out if you're interested at all, please. The more like true responses we have of like people who are interested at some point in going on a trip with me, the better. The more destination options there could be, because right now the top 3 that have been voted on are Iceland, Scotland, and Ireland, which I think are all great choices. But I'm just saying, if you don't think that's something you would want to do, then you gotta let your voice be heard and fill out the survey. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's linked down below. This isn't a sponsor because I have not done anything with them yet. It's just, do you want to? So then we can see. And if we get enough interest, then I will keep you updated on where, when, how, what. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Nigel, come here. I may not get to every topic or something, so if there's something that you've experienced as a content creator, or I guess maybe even on the viewer side, that you think should be brought up and I don't cover it, let me know down below. So anyway, so overall, creating content in general, I think, and I was like this before I started making content, I was just watching that it seems what you get as the final product doesn't always seem like it took a lot of work. And obviously there are videos that are easier to film and edit than others, but it is work. Like, it is time and energy that you are putting into creating this final product for your viewers. And then I think what's unique to us here in Booktube is that our main thing is talking about the books that we've read. And that takes time, like, to read the books. More time for some people, less time for other people, depending on how fast you read and, you know, the different things that are in your life. But that already right there is a lot of time. And obviously you should be reading because you enjoy it, but many of us, myself included, have read books that we thought we probably weren't gonna like for a video project, for a review or something. And so you are using those hours and then you're filming and then you're editing and, you know, putting out that content, promoting it wherever, and that is time. And that does not always translate into the amount that you get back. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, I don't want this to come off as every single, like, I'm reading this book so I deserve to be paid. Like, no, this started as a hobby for everyone. Like, we loved reading and that's why this became a thing. But once you do get monetized, if you want to make a steady income, not saying it needs to be your full-time, but if you want a steady income, then, you know, you do get upset when you've put in time and work into something and you don't see that result monetarily. And even before monetarily, just if you go into the YouTube studio, once you're a creator, it will rank your videos. So from 1 to 10. So if you had, like, let's say, this is usually what happens to me. If I would put out a book community video on Tuesday, it usually does great, right? Then let's say later that week, I put out a wrap up or something that's not drama. So it's gonna do significantly worse. And YouTube will make sure to tell you that it did worse. It'll be like, ooh, this is ranking 9 out of 10. So like comparing it to your last 10 videos, like boo. But when you get that video that hits, it's like 1 out of 10. It gives you confetti. It makes you feel so good. It makes you want to chase that high. So you're like, ooh, what else can I do to get a video to be viewed like this highly and to like get these basically these accolades from the YouTube Studio app. And to some that may sound dumb, but these things do mentally affect you. You're like, wow, I put a lot of work into this video, a lot of time to edit it, and people are seeing it, they're liking it, they're sharing it, this video is doing well. Even before you look at like AdSense revenue, just that it's being viewed is a huge mental boost. You're like, yes, this was worth it. You're seeing the comments, you're seeing the engagement. It's like literally what you started a YouTube channel for, is to get the views, to get the engagement, to have these conversations with the people, and you're like, yes. But then when you do all that work and then you go in there, you know, it's like, and it tells you this video is being viewed less than your normal videos, and like, and it gives you like arrows. It has like views down, like duration down. It is It is very aggressive, and I try not to look at it too much anymore because it really makes me feel like shit when it's low. So it's an impact. And obviously what you're making per video, if we're just talking about AdSense, is going to vary. It varies on time of year because advertisers change what they're paying throughout the year. Like Christmas time, probably the best time to be making videos because advertisers obviously are paying more money. And then you get to like the beginning of the year, summertime lull. And so you may have a video that has done just as well views wise as a video that you put out around Christmas, but maybe you're putting out in February and it's still like, when you look at the monetary and you're like, oh, well, that ain't what I got before. So it's a lot. There's a lot of different things that goes into that. And I do agree that, you know, if you get monetized because you're getting enough views and subscribers and stuff and you're making money off of your videos, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that and wanting to be able to, you know, get a payment from YouTube for your work because YouTube's making a bunch of fucking money. They're making a hell of a lot of money. And so it's frustrating. So I understand why people chase trends, which is another thing I had on here, is chasing trends or chasing, for us, hyped books or very popular books to get views. I have done it many times because again, you're like, okay, well, I know if I read this thing, not many people are talking about it, not many people are gonna click on it, and I want it to be seen. And it's very interesting in our community because I feel like a lot of people talk about what they want to see and they're lying to themselves. Or maybe people want to see these things here and there, or there's not enough people who want to see those things because the things that I've heard that are outside of like the YouTube staples or, you know, reading a very hyped book or whatever, don't get views. People say they don't want negativity, but those videos do the best if you are things I hate in books, authors I'm not gonna read, anything that's like some kind of negative topic, those do the best. So it's like, yes, people chase trends or popular things or popular tags when they see it being successful for someone else because they're like, well, I'm making my original content over here, or I'm talking about books no one's heard about. I'm reviewing, you know, this book that's an indie novel that I really loved, but no one's watching it. And so while some people are very much like, if one person watches it, that's great. People are like, well, I want this to get out to people, but you don't always get that reach. So maybe some people do the popular things to get an audience and in hopes that when they talk about things that are less popular, they'll get eyes on that. But you know, like in my case, that doesn't always work. Like some people come to your channel for one specific thing, which is valid, and they only want to watch that thing. So it's just, they're all very much interconnected and it's hard. And I don't want to say like this is right and this is wrong. Like, I don't want to say that. You watch what you want to watch. You can't control people who subscribe to you, people who watch your channel, people who interact, who share, who like, all that stuff. You cannot control it. I'm just trying to explain from the content creator side how it feels when you are trying to be an original voice or trying to get eyes on lesser known titles and you can't because the popular books are the ones that people want to flock to, or the negative videos. And I say that in air quotes because I don't think they're inherently negative. They're fun. It's like books I don't want to read, books I DNF'd, popular books I hated. I think they're fun. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, let's see. Let me get back on schedule. With creating content with us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, these algorithms, which are created by mostly cis white people, white men, they're built by these people who have their own prejudices. So obviously those prejudices are going to be built into the software themselves. So it's already hard when you are part of a marginalized group or one or more to get eyes on your channel, to do things that another person who is white, cis, straight, conventionally attractive, thin, does and gets a lot of views just because people are, you know, gravitate towards them and their thumbnail, and you could do the same thing and not see anything. And of course these algorithms don't work in your favor, but for all of us, white, black, whatever, The algorithm is our enemy, literally, because it doesn't allow for you to take a break. There's no time off if you are, especially if you're pursuing this as something as a full-time job. You have to, if you are taking a vacation, you have to plan, you have to work twice as hard, or like, you know, double up in advance so you have things scheduled to go up while you're gone. Because, oh my God, if you miss a week, or even if you normally post 2 or 3 times a week, you post once a week, the algorithm's gonna be like, oh, well, fuck her, and hide your stuff. So it's tiring. Of course, there's no, you know, the great thing about a regular job is you get your paid time off. There is no paid time off. I guess if you have, now, again, I'm speaking from a Booktube standpoint, and I am, what am I at, like 45, 44, maybe 43 or 44K? Now, people who have really large followings, which there's no booktuber that I know of that has 1 million plus, but I think the bigger the following, the more cushion you have to take time off. But I think when you're in something like Booktube that's more niche, you definitely have to be posting regularly, at least on YouTube. That's the only one I consistently post on, to keep the algorithm somewhat in your favor. And still, even then, sometimes I have people who are like, oh my God, I didn't get a notification. Even if they set up to get a notification from your video, they don't know, or they don't see it in their subscription feed. So it's just like, we're always battling something, you know, like every one of us, no matter our, like, you know, background or whatever, we're always battling something against this large corporation that literally makes his money because people post videos on here to get our videos seen. But whatever, we're not going to dive deep into that. Well, speaking about Booktube, is that I don't know if my neighbor decided to mow their grass while I'm filming my video, but it's very disrespectful. Like, how could you? I don't know if I can hear that. Is also, of course, Booktube. So there's all these different, there's people who talk about almost everything on YouTube probably you could find, and Booktube is one of those, but it's also relatively small. Now, there's a lot of people who have been making lifestyle content that are now creeping into the Booktube, but I wouldn't put them as solely like a Booktuber, but ours is fairly small. We do have our larger creators like Reagan at Peruse Project, and you know, there's some people like in the 300,000-400,000 subscribers, which is a fuck ton, and then there's some in the 100. But I feel like the average with Booktube is like, I mean, there's a lot of micro accounts under 5,000. I don't know if you consider that micro. 5 to 10, then you have the 10 to 20. Like, I feel like the majority of Booktube is 50,000 subscribers and under, which is still a lot of subscribers. But I'm just saying, compared to people you see like the makeup YouTubers, or whatever, all these white dude YouTubers or gamer whatever who have millions, it's totally different for them. So you're already in a small subset, small niche, and then you have to, you know, think of all the different things, marginalizations, algorithm, all of those things. So there's just already so many things working against you. But you know, I've seen more people leaving their traditional jobs or full-time jobs or whatever to pursue Booktube full-time, which used to be my dream, right? Like, I used to be like, oh, I want to create content full-time, but not like I wouldn't, because I'm desperate to quit my job right now. It's just hard because you cannot count on a set paycheck every month or every 2 weeks. It's going to change. Even if you have a Patreon, people leave, people join all the time. Your numbers go up and down. Like I said earlier, with ad revenue that goes up and down. Sponsorships, you may have a contract to do 3, or you may just get a one-time offer with one. So maybe half of the year you've got sponsorships lined up for 6 months, and then the other half you don't. So it's like almost impossible to guarantee a certain number every month to count on. Now, of course, everyone has their own, you know, their different things. Like, some people have a partner that helped them out financially, or maybe they live in a small town that's cheaper to afford, or they have a really big savings account. I don't know. But I've seen it more and more, and I get it, because the fucking industry right now is miserable. It's just miserable for so many people. And so to do something based on your hobby is enjoyable, but then also, which I've experienced, it can also lead to burnout, because you're trying to work so much to read, to edit, to participate, to, you know, create things for the community, that you get tired. And then you get tired of your hobby, but also your job at the same time, is a very difficult thing. And that's what I've been struggling with. Not right now, like, I'm actually getting into a better place mentally, but I was already depressed, like diagnosed with depression, and then I I hit a wall with a lot of stuff, and it's been really hard to climb out of that. So I think that's something that you have to take into consideration when you're trying to pursue it as a full-time job, especially if it's your only income is from whatever your YouTube income and affiliated things with that, is that your hobby, your passion, your greatest thing you enjoy to do, also doing as your job can, not always, can lead to like burnout and you not enjoying doing that at all. So just a warning. Another thing, we're already at 22 minutes, so I don't want to stay here too long, is sponsorships. I know people feel a certain way, but again, people are trying to get paid and compensated for their time. And I assure you, as someone who gets a ridiculous amount of emails, that even if you think someone is promoting stuff a lot, they're not promoting nearly half of the bullshit that comes into their inbox. And some are scams. Yes, and some are just like little companies or whatever wanting to get their product out there, which I understand. But I turn down or ignore 90% of the things that come into my inbox, and obviously that's going to be dependent on the person. Some things I'm like, this literally makes no sense for me to do. Like, this company would not stop bothering me about these hair extensions, but like, these were for white girls, and I was like, could you leave me alone, please? Or one that kept trying to send me fake flowers to promote, and I'm like, not even like a fake green plant, like fake roses. And I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? So I know I don't know if it's been as much, but I know there's been rumblings in the past and sentiment that it's like, oh, these people with all this sponsored content. But again, you can't always rely on AdSense because it goes up and it goes down, and you can't control how many people are watching your video, who has YouTube Red, the premium, whatever it's called, and who doesn't, who is letting the ads play and the whole time, half the time, skipping the ads. Like, there's just so many different things that go into it. Depends on the country you're in, where you're getting paid. There's some countries that don't even allow creators to be paid, which I think is bullshit. What? But all these different things. So I just think about it. Like, obviously, you don't have to watch the sponsored portion. You can skip on past, but understand that people, and usually, I mean, I would like to think that most of the time people do things like, this is something I would be interested in, or something that applies to me, whatever. But also, I'm thinking as long as they're not promoting some kind of scam or something really harmful, that is okay. I mean, are there some things like I would never work with myself personally? Yes, but I can't put my beliefs onto someone else, and they may choose to work with said company, and that's up to them. And you as a viewer, if you want to continue to watch and support that. A couple other things, hard to branch out. I think in Booktube, and I think a lot of in content creation in general, they want it to be a niche. Like, you pick one thing, you talk about this one thing, and I get that, because people want to be like, I follow this person for this thing, but that's hard for me and for other people who want to branch out, because some of us have other hobbies outside of books. But once you are in that algorithm and people are coming to you for this thing, and you start posting about this thing, an algorithm is going to fight you, and they'll be like, well, no one needs to see your video anymore because you're not posting what they're coming here for. Taxes. It may seem great to be like, ooh, I made $300 from this video. Ooh, I made $500 for this sponsorship. But you have to, at least I'm speaking from the United States. At the end of the year or the next year, you have to pay taxes on that. They're not taking anything out. The sponsors aren't taking anything out. Ad revenue is not taking anything out. Patreon's not taking anything out. So you can look at all that money and think, oh, this is how much money I'm going to be making if I pursue this full time. But you need to account for taxes, and make sure you're saving money so that when you owe the government, like I did, that you have that money to pay them. Did I? Yes. Did I like paying them? No. Because it seems like a scam. I don't think they deserve that money. But anyway, that's just something, I don't know if people take into account when they think about pursuing it as a full-time job. And something I forgot to go over when I was talking about sponsors is what to ask for. I have Googled so many things, and I still don't think there's really clear answers out there that you don't have to like pay somebody to ask them for, what to ask for sponsors, because you know, they ask for your price and your engagement and your audience and all this, but I do think there's probably a lot of us out there that are very underpaid because we don't know what to ask for, or we're scared to ask for more. So that's a really frustrating thing. You know, I've talked to a couple people who make booktube content about like what they've been paid, but not many. And I think it just goes into our culture again, at least in the US, where we're taught to not talk about what we're paid. And these corporations have instilled that within us so they can get over on us. So they're like, oh, well, I'm paying this person this much money, and they won't tell that other person that they're getting paid so much less. And so I feel like that's something that happens here on Booktube a lot, or just in content creation where you're like, do I ask for this much? Like, what if they're like, absolutely not? But one thing I'll say is that if I decide I want to work with a sponsor, I've started higher, because if they're like, yeah, great. If they're like, no, then at least you're, you know, negotiating, you have a higher starting point. So that's definitely something I did. So I guess this kind of turned into, do you want to do Booktube full time? Here's some things you can consider. But also, if you've wondered like behind the curtain what it's like, what content creators are thinking about, why are they doing certain things, I hope maybe this gave you some clarity. And last is that I think everything comes down to your personality. I think even if you are doing all of the things people want to see, fun tags, if you are reading popular books but also reading backlist books, talking about indie books, doing all these things, if you're vlogging, you can be doing everything that is the current trend or whatever that people want, but if they don't like your personality, then it's just not gonna work. And that is most of the things with YouTube you cannot control, and that especially. I think a lot of people have luck, and it is fine to say that. I was lucky to start my channel during 2020 when everybody was at home and had nothing better to do. I think had I started at a different time, I don't know if it would have been successful. But also, people, you don't have to like everyone's personality, and people don't. Some people don't like how people look, which, you know, whatever, but it's a thing and you can't help that. They don't like the sound of someone's voice. Their videos are too dark. Their videos are too bright. I don't like their personality. They giggle like this. They're loud. Like, those petty little things are what is going to affect that. And it's just nothing you can control. So, you know, you got to do it because you want to do it. You enjoy doing it. And then if it turns into something that can be profitable enough to, you know, sustain you, then excellent. But it can be difficult. And then finally, this is not forever. I don't know. I hope YouTube will be around for a long time, because I obviously am also a viewer of YouTube, but I don't know how long it will be. And I personally, as much as I want to leave my current job, I couldn't imagine being a content creator forever. Like, at some point I want to be like not on a screen and like doing something else, and not because, ooh, this other thing has a retirement plan, because none of us are retiring unless you're very wealthy. None of us are retiring. That's not it. It's just this isn't forever. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot. I feel like I had all these like things to go in order, but it kind of went because that's how my brain works, but a lot of it's intertwined. So I hope this video gave some insight. Maybe. I don't always think I sound very coherent when I'm talking, but I hope it helped. And again, if I didn't touch on something that maybe you want to see talked about more, let me know down below. I don't know if there would be enough to do another video, or maybe it could be like a live stream with some other creators. We can talk about more like behind the scenes things or experiences as a content creator. But yeah, there's just a lot that goes into it. Again, if you're thinking about wanting to pursue it as like this is your only source of revenue, just to think about that. And yeah, I hope if you join Booktube that you have fun and you read things that you want to read and you make friends, and that really, those are actually what matters. And the monetary aspect is an added bonus, because of course we gotta live. We live in a capitalist society. Okay, my battery's about to die while I've been talking for a really long time. But again, if you're interested in the trip, fill out the survey. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.